Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode number 104 of my South Olympic Branch Update Series. When Byron and I were on our way back from Pasco, we took the detour through the Yakima River Canyon, as I said in my last video. But I wanted to show you guys where we actually stopped and got some video of a live train. Here comes BNSF, number 715, leading an empty grainer eastbound to Pasco. I'm told that Byron and I managed to avoid seeing, missed two of the four trains that were on the line from Auburn to Pasco that day that we came back. Recently, I found this Great Northern S-2 from Broadway Limited on sale. It's a 484, and it's got the Paragon for it. It's not one of the stealth ones. And here I am, speeding myself up, getting all those silly wheels on the track. That's probably one of the most annoying things about steam engines is getting all the wheels on the track. Okay, here we go. Never mind the tippity-tappity of that you hear in the background. That's my crazy miniature pincher. Well, let's find out if it moves. Ah, there we go. Gotta go. No matter how old I get, I always hear, I think I can, when the steamer starts going on the tracks. That's our bell. Let's reverse this baby. You guys can, of course, see it puffing out smoke. I'll be turning that off in a minute. Let's zoom in on the cab so you can see the HO scale dudes taking the ride. Smoke's a good effect every once in a while, but for the most part, it kind of stinks up the rim. As you can see, it's in here. Okay, let's stop. Reverse. And then shine. There's the headlight. Go down the throttle. This is what happens when you try to be the engineer and the camera guy at the same time. Move these cars out the way. There and back again. While I was in Pasco, this order from Iowa Scaled Engineering showed up. This includes the modular signal system switch signal basic that I ordered to install on one of my Freo modules. So it's been a minute, but on this 2-to-1 track transition module, I installed a tortoise and got that throw bar installed in there. And then I'm working on the push button setup for this. I haven't done this before. My friend Andy has done it several times. We're going to see how things go with that. And then I'll need to try it. I don't know. I guess it says the power supply can be arranged on this one. So I probably got something I can use for that. The Freo power supply, as I've said before, is 16 volts AC, but it sounds like it can work on DC as well. So, but I'm really interested in trying it now that I've finally got these two locking panels installed. And both of the Digitrax plug-in panels installed, and I've stapled the Loconet cable down. I actually need to test the one in the middle because I just made it. But anyway, I got that done. So, and I'm also working on putting some signaling on here, and we'll get to that later. I jumped a little bit ahead, and I've tested both buttons. So I got that one up there, and the turnout moving there. And the one on the bottom here. down here. So these boards come from B&M Hobbies, and basically you got 2 wires that go up to a button on one side of the module and 2 wires that go to the button on the other side of the module. Looks like this. Andy has added a lock to the buttons. So what happens is, if we're at a show and we don't want people to have access to be able to throw our switches, turn that, lock it, pull your key out, and you're not getting anything. So stick it back in, turn the key back, and you have action. So that works pretty good. There's also another functionality to this that I haven't hooked up yet. That's why when you look at this, you'll see a couple wires hanging out here. And that'll run off of the tortoise to activate a bicolor LED that's down there. So I think I'm going to put this board right there. So I just need to mark it and put some holes in there for screws. So I've got one of the atom boards installed in the main board, and I'm positioning it so the little connector is on the same side, even though these cables are far long enough to be able to reach. And I just want to make sure that the 2 things I marked look like they're in the right spot. So it looks like they are. So let's go ahead and pre-drill a couple of holes. Now what usually happens is I forget to plan something, and so I end up moving the boards. We'll see what happens. Now I'm just going to pop that feeder out of the lever nut, throw it around through the hole here. I haven't used these particular CT coils before, but I'm guessing I probably don't have to wrap it more than once. We'll find out. If I do, it's no problem. I left myself plenty of slack there. Okay. So I finally got the signal block stuff wired up. It's all green right now because there's, no power to the track, and of course nothing on the track. The IR one here, this piece right here, they suggested you drill out a 3/8 inch hole for that. I ended up doing a 5/16, and then I cleaned it up a little bit by using a 1/4 inch Forstner bit and my hobby knife and a small straight flat blade screwdriver, and I got it up there good enough that it's not, it doesn't see anything is in the way. That's a lot better than the other IR sensors I've used, though. As far as how it looks, it's very compact. I'll show you that here in a second. There's like 8 miles of wire. Well, okay, 8 feet of wire between each of the detectors. So I think I can probably turn that back and solder it together, but I want to make sure everything's working first, and I'm going to reach out to the guy who sells these things at Iowa Scaled Engineering and make sure that's okay for me to just chop that wire and cut it down. I've got one signal hanging from it right now because the wire that's on that signal is not long enough to get it all the way to where it needs to be, which is going to be somewhere in this area over here. Really zooming in on the tracks here. Do you see it? It's right there. That's pretty good. I like the way that looks. Putting a little soapy water down so I can make the holes and flat spots for the signals. Well, I think those look good. I think that one in the middle is going to clear, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I brought it out here in the garage because I needed a little more flat space than what I had on my little workbench in the train room there. Okay, so last night I had extended my signal wires because the signals I only have about 6 inches of wire on them. So I extended this one, I should say. I haven't finished the other ones yet. And then, so this morning, I actually found my shrink tubing. I haven't extended that over the joint yet because I wanted to wait till I actually got a test, make sure my solder joints are good. And the first thing that this does is makes the one line green or red depending on position of the turnout. So right now that signal is red. One benefit to having a 3-foot module is that I can hit that. That signal will, yep, now we got a green. So in theory, this one isn't lit yet because it's not connected, neither is the other one. So in theory, when power is applied, track power, it should be able to detect the trains through the current detection that's over here and over there, and it should be able to detect optically through that one. I got to figure out, I should email Iowa Scaled Engineering and see if he has any good thoughts on securing that, because it's just sitting there right now and it's going to fall out during transit. Can't have that. Anyway, so let's see. So with that in mind, if I were to connect a DCC system to this and have some kind of occupancy, these guys, the atoms should flick to red, I think. All right, let's try this out. If I can get my hand over the signal or over the trigger. Oops. There we go. We should have. All right. Now let's see if I can try a resistor wheel set. Well, the board says it's detected. I can't see. Oh, that looks like it worked. Okay. Okay, I've wired up that second signal. And now, as you can see, those two signals exchange positions. And the green one has the switch thrown for it. Now, I'll take my wheel set. Whee! Yep. You can see that turn red. Move that and goes green again. Okay. So that's working. So I was reviewing my video and somewhere along the line I either lost or didn't record this part of this. The signal equipment that I got, the modular signal system stuff, that package was $125. It came with 4 pieces, 3 of these current detectors, one there, and the train spotter, which is an infrared detector that's over there. I kind of showed you that. I'm just kind of like contextualizing all this. And then the main board itself that everything connects to. I've also gone in since installing it, as I talked about, and shortened the wires. And I could have gone quite a bit shorter on these, as you can see, but I wanted to leave some flexibility in case I needed to change things up. So I still have a little bit of soldering to do, but that's on the signals, or maybe not. Yeah, a little bit of stuff. I want to make sure the wires are in the right spot and insulated and all that. Anyway, so that's actually working pretty well. On the train spotter over here, I took some, let's see if I can zoom in on that. I took some like 3/16 or 1/4 inch shrink wrap, and I put it around that to help hold it in place. I tried adding some tape too because it's still kind of loose, and I'm afraid that will jockey around and fall out during travel. But that didn't work out. So I think I said this before, but I'm going to talk to Nathan at Iowa Scaled Engineering and see if he has any thoughts on a better way to secure that. In reading the instructions, I discovered that I was going to need to use an output on the tortoise, and I hadn't realized that the bipolar LED that Andy had provided on the panel also needed each one of the tortoise double pole, double throw switches. Say that 5 times fast. And so what I just went ahead and left the LEDs unconnected. I figured that the signals will provide enough information for people to be able to follow that the turnout has changed and the route is set. My friend George came over to help with some projects on the layout and brought with him his Washington Central CF7s. These were Aine units that he custom detailed. George did this project more than 10 years ago. Seeing these units cruise around the layout makes me a little bit nostalgic. George and I met at the Tacoma Northwestern Model Railroad Club when it was at the Commons Mall in Federal Way. And after a couple of years there, we were kind of pushed out and we ended up going to Freight House Square in Tacoma. That was a good space for us for a while, until the new manager there decided that they didn't want us occupying a small portion of their basement and booted us out. Around that time, the club realized that the old layout that we had really needed to be retired, and Freo was brought to our attention. We ended up building some Freo modules, or mostly me and a guy named Tom did, and then we became the Puget Sound Freo group eventually. All this to say that it's been 20 years, and it's hard to believe it's been that long. But, the friendships I've gotten through the National Model Railroad Association and these various groups that I've been involved with has been pretty incredible. No, pretty sure I haven't.
We did a floor plan in guitar, and they did some stuff like that. It was like, really?
Who made those cars, the ones on the front?
You guys are supposed to be better than that. Freo.
Oh, Rapido made those?
How
Okay.
long ago was it? A few years.
No, the WCRC grain cars are from Prairie Shadows.
Prairie Shadows, yeah. Cool.
And then I'm not putting the scale train reefers on because they don't roll.
They have a handbrake set.
Even though it's going to be a bunch of garbage in the background, I'm going to go ahead and get George's locomotives going. I mean, how often do you get truly custom locomotives anymore?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, if things go the way I want them to, all of mine, when they show up, are going to be custom.
George is working on some additional stuff too, but I'd let him tell you about that. Back to working on that Riverbend module that you saw a couple episodes ago. And I'm just getting some greenery on the sides of the river here. Just starting with that, I'm going to work my way around it. And it's getting warmer outside, so pretty soon I'll be taking it out there and painting the fascia black. Okay, some of my Woodland Scenics Fine Foam blend and, a bowl, and then I just shake it off the side. And then I'm going to put some isopropyl on this and some scenic cement on it. And we'll call that good. I'll probably come back, actually, I think I'll take a little bit of this brown mixture some of which I got from Scenery Express. And I'll put some of that on here too. And then probably get some of my fine leftover from sifting ballast and put it on the edges here between that and the track, and then eventually get the ballast on there. Okay, a little slice of foam out of there, and then I can trim that piece back and kind of cap it. Then I'll need to, when I need to paint this piece and glue it in place. So now I've painted my drain pipe piece gray here, and I stuck that in there, and I'll put the notched out piece back in there. It's not sitting right, but I'm going to fix that. And after the glue dries, I'll come back and fill in around that with some sand and other materials to finish it up. After a satisfactory break-in period, I decided to find some of my older style rolling stock and put it behind the Great Northern S-2 484 Broadway Limited. And let's watch that run around the layout for a little bit. Well, that about does it for episode number 104. I think. You should write it down. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Until next time, stay safe and have fun with your trains out there.